Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Now pause for a second and think about that. Because if your soul becomes dyed by what you think about, then hers does too. So the real question isn't, how do I get her attention? It's, how do I become the kind of man who lives rent-free in her mind without even trying? This isn't about tricks. It's not about texting hacks. This is about presence, vibe, stillness with gravity. And the truth is, when you master these Stoic principles, when you learn to command yourself, you'll command her attention without ever needing to chase it. So if you're tired of being forgettable, if you want her to lay in bed wondering what you're doing, then lean in, because by the end of this you won't just understand women. You'll understand how to live inside her thoughts without ever lifting a finger. Let's begin. 1. Leave her with questions, not explanations. Here's something straight out of the psychological playbook. What the mind can't complete, it repeats. If you want a woman to think about you non-stop, you don't give her everything. You give her just enough. Mystery isn't manipulation, it's mastery. And most men get this wrong. They overshare, they overpost, they overtext. Thinking, if she knows everything about me, she'll stay interested. She'll get bored. See, the mind gets addicted to loops that don't close, and that's where you become unforgettable. Say less, do more, show up with presence, but keep the full picture tucked away. If you're the guy who always has a witty answer, a deeper story, a strange silence behind his smile, she'll play back your last interaction like a movie scene. It's not about being vague, it's about being intentional. You leave gaps in the conversation, not out of coldness, but out of depth. Let her feel that there's more to you than what's on the surface. Let her wonder. The moment she asks herself, why did he pause right there? Orient, what did he mean by that look? She's already hit replay in her mind, and she won't stop, because what you gave her wasn't just your words, it was an impression. A feeling that lingers. That's what Stoicism does. It doesn't shout, it echoes. And if you leave her mind echoing with questions, you'll live in her thoughts long after you've left the room. 2. Craft an aura of purpose, because nothing's hotter than a man with a mission. Here's something they'll never say out loud. She doesn't want to be the center of your world. She wants to orbit a man who has a world of his own. Purpose is magnetic, it's primal, it's the signal that you're not waiting for love to complete you, because you're already whole. When a man has purpose, every move he makes becomes intentional. He doesn't text back out of boredom. He doesn't change his schedule to please her. He doesn't over-explain where he's going or why. And what happens? She notices. She wonders why he's not chasing like the others. She starts to feel drawn in, not because he's playing games, but because he's too focused to play at all. A man on a mission doesn't beg for attention. He attracts it. Here's the Stoic twist. Your purpose isn't about proving something to the world. It's about mastering yourself. Daily, quietly, relentlessly. Read, train, building, create. Don't just exist, become. And the paradox, the more you live for something higher than her, the more she wants to be part of your journey. So don't tell her about your goals. Let her watch you chase them, because once she sees that fire in your eyes, she'll crave to be near it. 3. Master emotional control, because her mind is drawn to what it can't shake. Have you ever noticed how women will obsess over the man who barely says anything but walks like he knows something the world doesn't? That's emotional control. That's what Stoicism teaches. And that's how you become unforgettable. Here's the brutal truth. Women don't think non-stop about the guy who spills his emotions everywhere. They think about the one who can hold silence like it's a weapon. They obsess over the man who doesn't flinch when she tests him, who doesn't fold when she pulls back. It's not about being a robot. It's about being unrattled. See, the average guy thinks reacting shows he cares, but what it really shows is lack of self-command. A Stoic doesn't chase. He observes. He pauses before he speaks. He listens without the need to prove anything. That pause, that quiet, that stillness, that's what makes her wonder, what is he thinking? And the moment she starts wondering, she's already started thinking about you more than she intended to. Want to live in her mind? Then stop giving her all of you too soon. Let her lean into your silence. Let her earn your energy. Emotional control doesn't mean indifference. It means you're the anchor in her storm. Be that, and she'll never forget how safe and shaken she felt, all at once. 4. Create contrast. Be the calm in her chaos. Here's something that very few men understand, but the ones who do. They don't just get noticed. They get remembered. Women don't crave calm because they're calm. They crave calm because they're often not. She lives in a world of notifications, group chats, inner doubts, pressure to look perfect, past heartbreaks, emotional roller coasters, and a society that tells her to be strong and soft, independent and attached. You're the one place where none of that noise lives. That's power. When she's around you, she shouldn't feel the need to impress, overshare, or perform. She should feel a strange silence, the kind that makes her exhale without knowing why. You don't talk over her. You don't react when she's emotional. You let her storm pass while you remain grounded. This doesn't mean you're passive. This means you're anchored. You smile when it's needed. You listen when she speaks. And when she tests you with drama, you don't flinch. You give her something her nervous system isn't used to. Peace. Now, here's the paradox. Once a woman gets a taste of that stillness, she craves it. She begins to associate your presence with relief. And just like any addictive experience, she wants it again, and again, and again. You're not like the guys before you who reacted, argued, and exploded. You're the rare man who absorbs, who filters, who knows himself. And because of that, you become the safest chaos she's ever known. And trust me, she'll think about you long after she walks away. 5. Withdraw strategically. Let her miss the silence. Most men stay too long. They smother. They linger. They think the way to stay on a woman's mind is by being constantly present. But that's not how desire works. Desire lives in absence. It thrives in the space between interactions. It sharpens in the pause. So here's the Stoic move most men are too afraid to make. Step away while things are good, not as a punishment, not as a mind game, but as a discipline. You don't chase. You don't double text. You don't check in just to stay relevant. You let your silence do the talking. Why? Because your presence was so full, so grounded, so complete, that your absence leaves an echo. And here's the psychology. The brain fills in the blanks. It remembers emotion more than events. And if the emotion you gave her was calm, mystery, attraction, and subtle tension, that's what she'll replay. That's what'll make her scroll through your texts. That's what'll make her check your story without liking it. That's what'll make her wonder if you're wondering about her. And even if she doesn't act on it, you're already in her bloodstream. A man who knows when to withdraw is a man who controls the rhythm. You're not gone. You're just focused. You're not cold. You're just composed. And the space you leave behind, it becomes a mirror, where she starts to see how much your presence actually meant. And that's when she thinks about you the most. Let's circle back to Marcus Aurelius. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When a woman can't stop thinking about you, it's not because of what you said. It's because of who you were. You were the stillness she didn't expect, the mystery she couldn't figure out, the peace she didn't know she needed, the purpose she couldn't interrupt. And now? Now, you live in her thoughts like a haunting melody, not loud, but undeniable. So before you chase another text, before you try another pickup line, ask yourself, are you becoming the kind of man who leaves an echo? Are you becoming a man who dyes the thoughts of the woman in front of him, just by being who he is? If this spoke to something deeper in you, if you're on the journey of becoming unshakable, comment the word unwritten below, because your story is still being written, and you hold the pen now. And if you want more on mastering women through mastering yourself, subscribe to the Stoic Guide, not for tricks, but for transformation. Until next time, stay grounded, stay silent, and let your presence speak louder than words ever could.